After I refused to sell my property to a developer neighbor, he filed fake environmental complaints, sent anonymous death threats, and had my water shut off. I stayed quiet, let him think he was winning until the day the FBI showed up at his door with a warrant. Watching him get hauled away in cuffs while screaming, "It was just business!" was the sweetest victory I never knew I needed. I live in East Palatka, Florida, about 40 miles south of Jacksonville. Not the beaches or the tourist traps, but flat land, trees, dirt roads, and a lot of hardworking people who keep to themselves. I bought my land in 1998. Just over 2 acres with a small house and a big metal workshop in the back. I was young and full of pride. My dad helped me build it. I planted citrus trees. I raised dogs. I restored old cars in my free time. Life was peaceful for almost 20 years. That peace ended the day Alan Forsyth showed up. It was spring 2017. I was outside working on a '69 Camaro. A black Escalade pulled into my dirt driveway. Out stepped Alan. Late 40s, fake tan, expensive watch, flashy shoes, Bluetooth in his ear. The type of guy who makes you lock your door even in the middle of the day. He walked up like he owned the place. "I just closed on the lot next door," he said, flashing a fake smile. "You must be my new neighbor." I nodded, wiped my hands on a rag. "Listen," he continued, "I'm planning to develop the whole creekfront. Luxury cabins. Nature resort. Tourists will love it. I need your property too. What's your number?" I stared at him. "Not for sale." His smile faded fast. "Everything's for sale, friend. Not this land." His eyes went cold. "You'll regret that." I didn't take him seriously. That was my first mistake. Within a month, the complaints started. Code enforcement knocked on my door. They said someone reported me for improper vehicle storage and illegal dumping. Total lies. I kept my workshop clean. No spills. No trash. I spent $2,000 on legal fees and inspection reports just to prove I wasn't breaking any rules. The next week they came back. Noise complaints. Aggressive dogs. Unpermitted structures. Each claim was baseless, but every visit meant more time, more stress, more money. I started getting anonymous letters. At first, it was warnings. "You're standing in the way. We know where you sleep." Then threats. "Your dogs won't protect you." Accidents happen. I bought security cameras. I bought motion lights. I kept a loaded gun inside. I barely slept. I had never been scared on my own land before. The worst came one weekend when I turned on my faucet and nothing came out. I called the water company. "We received confirmation you vacated the property and requested shut-off." They told me. I fought for 5 days to get it back. I had to use bottled water. I had to shower at the YMCA in Palatka. I felt small. I was humiliated. All the while, Alan waved at me from his massive deck like nothing had happened. I wanted to scream. I wanted to punch him. But I stayed calm. I documented everything. I stopped reacting. I played the long game. Every letter, every false complaint, every vandalized fence, I logged it all. I got clear footage of a man in a hoodie slicing my fence one night. The SUV parked down the street? Alan's black Escalade. The license plate matched. I handed my evidence to the local sheriff. They said it was hard to prove. I knew they wouldn't touch him. Alan had deep pockets. But I had one friend from high school who now worked in law enforcement in Jacksonville. I sent him everything. His reply? "You're not the only one. Stay put. Don't engage him. Let us handle it." The months dragged. Alan got bolder. New crews showed up to clear land near my fence line without permits. They stopped after my cameras caught them. Alan would drive past my house slowly at night. My dogs would bark like crazy. I sat awake with my shotgun across my lap. I didn't break. I didn't give him the satisfaction. I had no idea just how deep the hole he dug was. One night in January 2022, I came home from a late supply run. As I pulled into my driveway, I saw red spray paint across my workshop door. One word: leave. My stomach dropped. My cameras caught nothing. Whoever did it knew the blind spots. I checked every inch of my land with my flashlight and dogs. I barely slept. The next week, I got an official-looking letter taped to my front door. It claimed I was in violation of wetlands protection and had 14 days to vacate my home. No return address. Pure fake. But what broke me was what happened to my dog, Scout. One morning, Scout wouldn't eat. He wobbled when he walked. I rushed him to the vet. They confirmed he'd been poisoned. I knew who did it. I raged inside, but I couldn't prove it. Scout survived, but barely. That was my breaking point. I called my law enforcement friend again. "They're almost ready," he said. "We just need him to slip one more time." I offered bait. I put up a fake "for sale by owner" sign at the far end of my property. I wanted to see if Alan would take the bait and contact me directly, breaking the harassment pattern and tying himself to it. Within 48 hours, I got a call from a blocked number. "I see you've finally come to your senses," the voice said. It was Alan. I recognized the smug tone instantly. "This is a mistake," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. He laughed coldly. "You'll get your check soon. You won't have a choice." I forwarded the recording to my contact. That was the break they needed. Weeks passed. Alan must have thought I had caved. I kept quiet, didn't react. But I started noticing strange vehicles parked at odd hours near his property. SUVs, unmarked vans. One night I spotted two men wearing FBI jackets walking near my tree line. They nodded at me but said nothing. I went back inside and waited. The tension was unbearable. My land felt like a war zone without a single bullet fired. I stopped working on cars. I barely left the house. I was exhausted, but I held on. I didn't know when, but I knew it was coming. In early June 2022, I got a knock at the door. It wasn't law enforcement. It was a man in his late 60s, thin, wearing worn jeans and a faded baseball cap. "You don't know me," he said. "Name's Dale. I used to own the lot next to yours before Forsyth bought it." I invited him in. He stood in my workshop and looked around like he was remembering something. "I heard what's been happening to you," Dale said. "It happened to me too." He threatened my family. Made fake lawsuits. I finally gave up and sold sheep just to get out. He handed me a small notebook. Inside were records, dates, notes, even photos of Alan meeting with shady men in unmarked trucks years before. Dale had documented everything but never had the courage to go to the authorities. "I never wanted a fight. But you're standing up to him. You should have this," Dale said. I couldn't believe it. It was a goldmine of evidence. I called my law enforcement friend immediately. "We didn't know about this," he said. "This ties everything together." The next day, Alan must have known something was wrong. His contractors packed up and left overnight. Trucks stopped coming. His house went dark. Then came the final scare tactic. At 2 a.m., my security cameras caught a black figure pouring liquid along my workshop wall. Gasoline. He struck a match. The flames barely caught before my motion lights triggered and my dogs went wild. I ran out with a fire extinguisher and managed to put it out. The cameras got everything. The man wore a hoodie, but his walk, his build, it was Alan. The license plate on the getaway car matched. I sent the footage straight to my contact. "This is it," he told me. "Do not approach him. Stay inside. We're moving in." The next few days crawled by. I barely ate. I barely slept. My nerves were shot. Alan disappeared. His Escalade sat unused in his driveway. No lights. No movement. I checked my cameras every hour. I didn't know if he was going to run or lash out one last time. The only thing I knew for sure, the end was close. July 15th, 2022. I will never forget it. It was hot, sticky, dead quiet. I was drinking bitter coffee on my front porch when the first black SUV rolled in. Then another. Then two more. Men in dark suits with yellow FBI letters poured out. They wore bulletproof vests, carried rifles. They moved with purpose toward Alan's mansion. One of them waved at me and mouthed, "Stay put." I stood frozen. I could hear barking from my dogs, the crunch of boots on gravel, radios crackling. Then, "FBI! Open the door! Warrant!" No answer. "We're coming in!" They rammed the door. The sound echoed like a gunshot across the trees. Seconds later, Alan came stumbling out in handcuffs, wearing nothing but gym shorts and a stained white t-shirt. His face was red, sweaty, pure rage and panic. "I'm a businessman," he screamed. "This is harassment. You don't know who I am." The agents ignored him. They led him past my property, and for the first time, Alan locked eyes with me. His face twisted with hatred. "This was just business," he shrieked. "You ruined me." I didn't say a word. I stood in silence and watched him disappear into the SUV. My legs were shaking. My hands clenched so tight my knuckles turned white. The news hit fast. Alan Forsyth was charged with fraud, bribery, witness tampering, arson, attempt, conspiracy, multiple counts of harassment, and intimidation. The FBI had linked him to illegal land deals across Florida. My case had been the key to unlocking the whole mess. The notebook Dale gave me? The fence-cutting video? The phone recording? The arson footage? It had all stuck. At the trial, I testified. I sat on the stand and told the jury everything. My voice shook. My hands sweat. But I told it all. Alan was found guilty on every count. The judge gave him 22 years. No parole. The courtroom was dead silent when the sentence dropped. Alan stood there pale, shaking his head like he couldn't believe it. "You brought this on yourself," the judge told him. I won't lie. It almost broke me. I lost weight. I lost sleep. My business suffered. I was angry all the time. I almost bought into his game of fear. I almost sold out just to make it stop. That was my mistake. I let him drag me deeper into hell than I ever wanted to go. But I held on. Barely. It's been over a year now. The land is peaceful again. The dogs roam free. The orange trees are full. I've started restoring cars again. I kept the "for sale" sign. I hung it inside my workshop as a reminder. Never let anyone take what you love through fear. I don't believe in karma. I believe in choices. He chose wrong. I chose to stand. Sometimes, the quietest victories are the loudest.